Today I will discuss about OCR in how can you do OCR. So what does OCR mean? Basically, OCR means optical character recognition. Basically, whenever you have a use case where you want to upload a document, it can be an image or something similar, and you want to read the text from that document, we call that process OCR. Now this is an example app where I have built this app just to demonstrate how can we do OCR and what are the different options. So here you can see I have added an image, and just to show you the most powerful option at the very beginning so that you can understand what's possible and what we are looking for. So what we are doing right now is we are calling OpenAI API. So OpenAI has different models for doing different tasks, and we're using this GPT-4o mini, which is really powerful. And as you can see, if we look at the result, it gives us all of the necessary info that was extracted from this ID, and it also gives us the confidence score of each of these fields. So how confident the AI was when it was reading this text. So this can be a really powerful tool in your service. For example, let's say in our case we are building a vehicle booking service where people need to upload their documents, and we do the OCR to detect if the document is valid or not. If it's a valid document, then we let them pass through, otherwise we block them. So that is the whole use case here. Now what are the options basically? So broadly speaking, there are two main options to do OCR. One is if you want to do OCR locally, which means inside your server itself. Other option is if you want to use some kind of external API. So when you are doing OCR locally, it will be very fast, it will be cheap, but the result will be bad, right? And if you do with some kind of API, external API, the everything will be opposite. So basically it will be a little bit of slower, it will be a little bit costlier, but the results will be better. So what are the options? If we come here, you will see we have a couple of buttons here. The first button says blur detection. I will show you the code as well, what the code does and how the code does it. So blur detection is a mechanism where you can use a package called Sharp. By the way, I'm showing nodejs examples, but every language has similar libraries, so it's nothing special or specific to nodejs. So blur detection just checks the quality of the image, right? So as you can see, it says that the image is too blurry. For some reason it determined that this image is blurry, so you kind of have to play with the parameters. I will share the repository in the comment section, in the description, so you can check the code yourself. So essentially what we are doing, we're using this Sharp, and we are creating a special version, the grayscale version of the image, and we are looking for the contrast between different parts, so that does this blur detection. I'll not go into too much technical details. This video is just to give you the idea of the different options of doing OCR. The second option is readability. So readability comes from, let's say the image is not blur, but it is not readable as well. What does it mean? Let's say you have uploaded a very sharp image of a tree, right? So this image may be it can be sharp, but it is not readable because you cannot read anything on a tree. So that's what this check readability function does. So it basically checks if the document is properly readable or not. Again, ignore the results, it's about the parameters. So which parameters, how you configure the parameters, it will depend on that. And for checking the document readability, we are using a special function called a special package called node tesseract OCR. So this is a really popular library in nodejs where you can do all kind of OCR stuff. And here is the code where we are trying to read the text, and finally we are trying to calculate what was the confidence score for that text. So if we search with confidence, you can see that we can fix these parameters, what is the blur threshold, what is the minimum and maximum confidence, and based on that it will tell you if this document is readable or not. And finally we have another option called extract text, but it does it locally. So basically it will try to read the text using this same API, what we are using here, node tesseract OCR. To read the text locally, we have another option which is called scribe.js OCR. There are some little differences between these two options. In general, if you're going or if you're doing local OCR, then scribe.js is a better option. For some reason it's failing, but yeah, you get the idea. You can use this library to do the OCR locally. Now these are the local options, but in my opinion these are not production ready, or at least in my experience it's very hard to make them work in a production environment, because you want something that works reliably every time, and these are just not that good. So if we are talking about using some kind of API, as I showed you initially, the best one I have found so far is OpenAI's models. It's not cheap. It will cost you some amount of money, but I think it will be worth it, at least for the quality of the result. If you are not handling this kind of documents, and for example in OpenAI's code you will see that it's sending me back an exact JSON response, which is really nice. If you check the code, you will see that I have told it in the prompt what the response format will be. I have specified some rules and it follows those rules exactly. So it has a lot of customizability because you are controlling it through the prompts. So this OpenAI's version was the one that we finally used on production, and it's really powerful and effective as well. But there is another option. So let's say you are not doing any kind of document processing, you are just doing, let's say, a normal PDF, right? Or let's say a huge document or something like that, and you don't want to have too much cost associated here. Then you can use this extract text with AWS service. So it is called text extract. You can read about it. So what is the difference between these two? Let me first show you what extract does on this document. What it will do is it will not format anything. It will just give you all of the extracted text out of this document. And this kind of works. This works mostly when you are handling with normal documents and not specifically identity documents or anything like that. Then this AWS extract also works. So this is Amazon's extract, which you can take a look as well. So just to summarize again, there are some local options. If you're building something serious, you probably shouldn't use these local options. These are not that good. There are some Python libraries which performs better, but in general local options doesn't, or at least didn't work that good on this kind of documents. If you are working with identity documents, passport, license, things like that, then OpenAI's models 4o mini, which is a multimodal model, that performed really great. And if you are just handling large documents with just blob of texts and you don't care about any structuring, then AWS Extract is a nice option. Thank you so much for watching so far. I hope you learned something new. In any case, feel free to like and subscribe, just the normal things, and really appreciate you sticking up to this point. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.